Hey guys, super quick video. I just wanted to go over the changes to Turbo. This is what makes it Turbo. Now we're really leaning into that turn 2, turn 3 super aggression, and we're just going to talk about it. So in my previous list, it was on its way to being Turbo. I had the Scions in it, but we weren't leaning into it as heavily. Now we're running 4. The reason why we can up it to 4 is our leader has a pitch ability. You know, you burst 3, you draw a card, and you discard. That means if we do draw a lot of Scions early game, we can just discard them. It also means if we draw Son Goku's early game, since they ruled that we can get both from the deck and the drop, just like Dragon Balls, we can pitch them. So it kind of gives us easy cards to pitch. My 2 losses during Top Cut were to Piccolo. I played incorrectly, apparently. I should have killed his Unison and then tried to kill him. And then also against Yellow, I just decked out. So I milled 1 too many times, and then I just didn't have enough cards to kill him. So then he was able to kill me because I couldn't draw. Like, I had a super combo in hand, and I couldn't play it. So that was awkward. But it was really good. The deck performed really well. Keep in mind, this deck is meant to be idiot-proof. I'm going to talk about a few little tricks, but that's because Best of 1 is not skill-based, okay? It's not an insult to players. Like, it's still fun, but Best of 3 is where the skill comes into play. You can always drop a game to somebody in Best of 1. Like against Butters, a great example in Top 8. He was having a blast. He was kicking everyone's butt. I played him in Top 8. Well, then Butters missed his turn 1 play, where he didn't get a single field, and then turn 2 he didn't get his Unison or a field. He just did nothing with his energy. I actually thought he had tricks because like he had nothing to do. He's like, nope. And I had actually played some of my sideboard cards against him, so his negates were useless. Everything he had, like he just went to 1 by the end of my turn 3, and he hadn't done anything. Like he was smart. He saved his Awaken, so he still had his Awaken, but he's at 1 life. So once I played Vegeta, he just scooped. He was really cool about it. He actually didn't even make me play it. He was like, show me the Vegeta, and I scoop. And he was cool about it, because like I said, Best of 1, not about skill. It's about making a consistent deck. It has a simple strategy, and then you just run hot. Plenty of great players didn't make it to top 16. It has nothing to do with their skill. It's just a fun format. So you can't take it too hard, although it does suck when you don't top 16. So what makes my list unique is I only run 2 Son Gokus. I never had an issue where I missed this card that I can think of with 2, because you just get it from the drop. We run the SCR that is Vegeta, because he's ridiculous. And then what we try to do is lean into this turn 1 play. We have 2 turn 1 plays that are optimal, and then we have a 3rd turn 1 play that is not optimal. The number 1 optimal play is, of course, Scion. We always want to play this and bring out 2 Son Gokus, even if we go first. We're perfectly okay with not getting to attack with our Unison to put 2 10Ks on the board for 1 energy. This will also trigger our After Image, which we will use on turn 1 to kill something if they play it, if it's relevant. But it's mostly just very, very powerful. What also makes this deck so good is we filter to Awaken onto if we want to with Heartfelt. The way that we do that is we lean more into on turn 1, we want to play Son Gohan. Close, not the right name. Son Gohan. And then during their first attack, we want to combo with a Skillless. We had both Piccolo and we had Son Goku. It didn't matter what you run. You guys can run Vegeta if you want to. I just had these in foils. And then you immediately combo with one of these, even if you're over comboing. So that puts 2 cards in your drop, and you draw 2 cards from his effect and then this effect. So you're just filtering your deck to put more U7s in the drop. It makes it very, very aggressive. And then on your turn 2, if you do draw your Heartfelt, and that's like the goal in your opening hand, is like if you can get a Gohan and a Heartfelt, you just need to draw your 4 of Kabba's Awakenings. And then you play a Frieza. You attack with the Frieza twice, and then you attack with like Gohan, and you're just like, Kabba's Awakening on this card. Heartfelt, and your opponent's like, crap. It's turn 2, you've got a Heartfelt in play. It is very hard to deal with. Even if they negate the attack, the fact that you're going to draw 2 off of it, and you have a 30k body they have to remove during their turn, it's super great. I won almost every game, except for, like I said, in the top 4. I lost against the yellow player. He played really, really well. I made some misplays, but like I think it just came down to like I didn't need to mill that last time, and I did, and then I didn't have enough cards left to kill him. So a mistake on my part. Against sideboarding, I did bring in Piccolos and New Ruler and took out Turbo against most matchups. This was a really good call. Violent Rays went in whenever I saw red. I brought in this Son Goku, I think, every single game. The extra Koitsukai, this Realm, and this Vegito never got played. Brawly did some work against yellow and blue, but I don't know if it was needed. I'll be honest. The cool part about Brawly was I would take out these Ultra Instincts and I'd put in Brawlies, and then I would cut like a dual attack Frieza against blue because it was really bad versus blue. So I will say, I guess that's the skill in the format, is you have to know how to sideboard. And then also this video serves as a correction. I told you guys last video you guys could play Divine Presence and sack him to Heartfelt. Like we said in the team talks, I found out you can't do that. In this game, Heartfelt's cost to play him is considered an effect by placing one card in the drop. That's not a, like, in my mind, that's a cost, not an effect. However, that's everything in Dragon Ball is a cost, so I found out you cannot sacrifice Heartfelt. So that's why we're running Kava's Awakening now, so we can still kind of like cheese people and just like lean into the Heartfelt plea. Because it's super aggressive, it's super powerful, and in best of one, it basically gives us two very powerful SCRs, and that makes it even more likely that we win. The hard thing you got to keep in mind is you do need to filter. So throughout the entire game, you need to be looking for your super combos, and you do that by whenever you combo with a skillless, you immediately combo with one of these. Even if you know your opponent's already going to take the attack, the purpose of these are just to be pseudo combos, just to keep the draw going. Like I said, on turn one, your other play is, of course, Android 17 if you drew terrible. So you have 12 targets on turn one. That's not terrible. One game against Blue Baby, I purposely did nothing, even though I had some Gohan, and I milled one of these, so I got to play it, and then I kept one energy up to play Ultra Instinct. That was a cool little trick. So then when he played his Ultra Kamehameha against SS4 Vegeta, and he normally would awaken, ramp, I got to play mine, and then I sacrificed the Android 17, so I lost no card advantage, and it felt really good, and it put him in an awkward spot because he had tapped out on his turn one. So then on my turn two, I played the Scion, I swung a bunch, I was able to play Golden Frieza. I don't think I had the Heartfelt, so then I just awoke, and I played Super 17, and he comboed out of the Super 17, and I hadn't swung with the two 1-drops yet, so I just left him at 5 life. Then my turn 3, I swung with, I think, 17. He awoke, and I played 2 Divine Presences, and then I got him to, like, 1 life. I couldn't kill him, but I got him to 1, and then it just made the game very easy. Like I said, I really want to cut this card. I have some tech I'm not going to share with you guys today, that what we actually replaced this card with. Somebody brought it up to me, and I was like, man, that is genius, and I don't want to take it away from them, because I want to respect the fact that they gave us some cool tricks. So if I play any more best of one, this is the deck. I don't think I get to play in regionals, so I think I'll be on a cruise, so I don't think I'll have the Wi-Fi in the Caribbean for it, assuming it's the week of the 10th through the 17th. But if not, I'll either play this deck or Soul Striker. Online play, I don't know if I really want to play a mill deck. Like, I'm already a messy player. Like, my battle area is not exactly the best. So, milling 3, showing my opponent my drop, and then, like, it's just not the same. So, I'd rather just play something like Soul Striker, where it's just a normal, all I have to keep track of is my Unison and my leader and some battle cards. I want to make it as easy as I can for everybody. And Soul Striker is a great list. Soul Striker beats this list hands down if you play properly. Because the 8-drop can't deal, like, the 8-drop is how you usually kill your opponent, like, if against blue, and you can't use these because I can just Kefla them. So you have to go into, like, Son Goku Divine Presences, and Baby Hatch is just such a problem for this deck, because getting to turn 3 isn't that hard. So I really think I'm going to lean into blue. If Invoker becomes popular, well, then maybe we bring out Janemba Mill. Maybe we bring out Red Brawly. Decks that Invoker's weak to. We'll see what the meta becomes with the whole new format. This deck can't beat Invoker, though. Just so you guys know, this deck will die to Invoker 100 times. What makes this deck so good is you're attacking with a bunch of 10Ks. Well, Invoker's a 15K leader. Because it's just going to keep pitching and drawing. So you're going to get no damage in your early game. I don't know how to fix that. I probably just say if Invoker becomes the number one deck, Turbo luckily had its time to shine. Like, I had a fun with the event. It was just a good time. So thanks for everyone who watched the videos, gave me the congrats. I'll take a top 4. Like I said, it's not a win, but it was pretty good. Some other cards that were clutch in this matchup, really just the 17. Playing 17 on turn 2 was just phenomenal. Just a very, very powerful card. 15k double strike. And generally speaking, every opponent would combo out of it. So you would gain a card, so you wouldn't lose any advantage, but then you'd swing across, and they would combo, and they would be a 10k leader, so they'd combo 2 cards. So that he basically made himself a 3-card swing because he stayed on the board. So 3-card advantage for 1 energy is quite impressive. I did try to kill one of my opponents really aggressively with this in top 4, and I lost because of it. I probably should have been more aggressive in defending this card, so I could have killed his Unison. But it's about learning. I kind of just don't respect Piccolo. Everyone acts like it's a deck. I think Piccolo's a crappy deck. Just because, in my opinion, it has so many bad hands. It's just that everyone's playing Piccolo, is what it feels like. You have so many people playing Piccolo that it's doing well, and they're good players, so that ceiling's very high. But I think they could do so much better with better decks. But I've been wrong many a time. And that's it. Like I said, quick little video, because you guys already saw this deck list. If you guys didn't see my previous deck list, I explain all the cards, go over all of it. But really, we're just really leaning into Scion now. 4 of is very, very powerful. And then what's cool about this deck is don't be afraid to blow your super combos once they're at 4 life. So, like, attack with a 10k, super combo. Like, be aggressive, force your opponent to either go to 3, then 2, because once you get them to 2, you just hand dump. Like, that's generally what I was doing. That's why I went 7-1. Got 3rd place in Swiss, and then 4th place for the final standings. But, like, Frieza would be in my drop. Vegeta would be in my drop. And so, like, during my turn 4, I would just swing leader. And they'd be like, no negates. And I'd be like, okay, combo my entire hand. And if they combo out of it, great. I'll figure out a new strategy. But generally speaking, they had to take it anyway. And then you just pay the 4, you play Vegeta, and you win the game. So, super easy to do. If you tap out against this deck, you're probably going to lose. I will say that. Unless you have a way to untap. So it's very important to keep your awakening for, if you're on the draw, our turn 4, which is your turn 3. So you can have 1 energy up. Because then you can Violent Ray, Unprotected, Unprotected People the Protector? I have no clue what it's called. The black card that lets you get bigger. Imposing Presence. There's a lot of cards that can get you out of these attacks so you can crack back and kill red. But that's how you have to beat red. So red is going to get a ton of early aggression, and you need to crack back to kill us. When we tap out, you just got to go just and combo. Like, we don't have that much draw power. We're running all these effects because we don't have built-in draw. And then obviously if you lose, it's best of 1. Don't worry about it. Go to the next event. And that's it, guys. Night. Enjoy yourself. If you guys have any questions, hit me up.